Welcome to a special investigation from the Human Error News Network. Tonight, we're diving into a really disturbing paradox, how the very piece of equipment designed to save your life can sometimes be the most dangerous thing on a ship. Just take a good look at this image. This is Lifeboat number 3 from the cruise ship Carnival Dream. It just plunged straight into the water while the ship was docked in Cozumel, Mexico. Now, this boat was built for one job and one job only: to save human lives. Luckily, this time, it was completely empty.
Now, when you see a mess like that, your brain probably jumps to one very simple, very direct question, right? Who screwed up?
But what if I told you that asking that question is precisely the wrong thing to do? What if asking who actually makes it impossible for us to ever really solve the problem? So, let's talk about why we do that. We are all hardwired with something you could call the blame instinct. It's that gut reaction, that instant need to find a person, a culprit to hold responsible when things go sideways. And it feels good, right? It's a nice, simple answer. But it is dangerously misleading.
The organizations that are the most reliable on the planet, we're talking aviation, nuclear power, they figured this out decades ago. When something fails, you come to a fork in the road. You can blame a human, or you can learn from the failure. You absolutely cannot do both.
So let's go back to the Carnival Dream for a second. The official report seems pretty cut and dry. During a test, a latch snagged a cable. The boat dangled there for a moment, and then, boom, it crashed into the water. Nobody was hurt. So case closed, right? Just a simple mechanical snag. Well, not even close. To really understand what happened that day, we have to zoom out. I mean, way out. We have to look past that one single broken latch and start to dissect the anatomy of a much, much bigger system failure. Failures like this are almost never a one-off event. The story of that lifeboat really began decades earlier. See, back in 1980, an oil rig capsized and 123 people died. A lot of them died because their lifeboats just wouldn't release. So what was the response? A new rule for these complex onload release hooks. But this fix actually created a whole new deadly problem. Suddenly, you had a wave of accidents happening during routine drills. The Carnival Dream Incident, it's not a new failure. It's just the latest chapter in a long, tragic story. And here you can see the real heart of the issue. On the left, that was the original problem, lifeboats that were stuck. And on the right, that's the solution, an incredibly complicated, delicate hook mechanism. We basically tried to engineer our way out of one problem, and in the process, we accidentally created a brand new and maybe even more dangerous one. And hey, the data does not lie. If you look at the reports from maritime accidents, nearly a third of all the component failures, 32%, are traced right back to that hook and release mechanism. The very device that was meant to be the fail-safe has become the single biggest point of failure. So what exactly is this thing? Well, an onload release hook is designed to pull off this really high-stakes mechanical trick, to unlatch a boat that weighs several tons from its cables while the boat's full weight is still hanging from them. Think about that. The margin for error in its design, its maintenance, its operation, it's practically zero. Okay, so we've diagnosed the system. We see the flaws. The really critical question now is, how do we fix it? And the answer, well, it requires a huge shift in how we think, moving away from blame and focusing entirely on prevention. This right here, this is everything. A blame culture is always asking, who did it? And that just leads to punishment, which of course encourages people to hide their mistakes. But a learning culture asks a totally different question. Why did it happen? It doesn't assume you have bad people, it assumes you have good people who are working inside a flawed system. And the goal is to fix the system, not to punish the person. So, what does a learning culture actually look like on the deck of a ship? It looks like this. It means treating maintenance not as just another chore, but as a critical, life-saving priority. It means using simple but really powerful tools, like risk assessments and backup safety devices. And it means keeping obsessive records so you can actually spot dangerous patterns before they lead to another accident. Okay, so you're probably not inspecting lifeboat hooks for a living. I get that. So why should any of this matter to you? Well, it's because the exact same dynamic that causes a lifeboat to fall off a ship is what causes projects to fail in your world. So let's build your playbook. This isn't just about ships. This is about that bug in your software, or that flawed procedure at the local hospital. It's about that broken process in your office. You know the one I'm talking about. That creates constant headaches for everyone.
Every single complex system is vulnerable to this exact same cycle of failure and blame.
So here it is, your 4-step playbook for when things go wrong. Number 1, stop the witch hunt. Just ban the question, who did it, and replace it with, what happened? Step 2, ask why 5 times. The latch failed. Why? Poor maintenance. Why? The procedure's too complicated. Why? Keep digging until you find the real root cause. Step 3, make it safe to fail, because people will. So, build checklists, backups, and smarter designs that anticipate error. And finally, step 4, share the lessons. You have to treat every failure like it's a free, incredibly valuable training session for your entire team.
Look, the real takeaway is this. We're never going to build perfect systems because we aren't perfect people. That's just a fantasy. The real goal, the smarter goal, is to build humane systems. Systems that accept that we are all fallible and are designed from the ground up to protect us when that fallibility inevitably shows up. And that really raises a critical question for all of us, doesn't it? In our own worlds, our teams, our offices, are we building systems that blame, or are we building systems that protect?